have a very different sort of video for you today. I think it's definitely going to be a shorter video because I don't have anything to show you guys. This isn't a haul. So I think me just sitting here rambling for half hour is going to get very boring for you guys. But I'm super excited to finally make this announcement. I've been hinting at it for a bunch of videos, and I'm sorry it's been taking me so long. Things have been crazy, but I'm sure you're seeing it from the title. I'm not even sure 100% what I'm going to label this yet, but it's going to be something like big announcement, I moved again. So if you guys are new to the channel, because I have gotten a lot of new subscribers, get ready for some moving content. This is, you definitely still keep watching the video if you want to hear more about my new place, but this is more for people I were already subscribed to me, because those subscribers know that I just moved 6 months ago. So they might be like, what is going on? Like my friend Wendy Jean that I did the mystery bundle battle with, I messaged her when I was in the process of moving about a month ago. She's like, I thought you loved your place. Like, what happened? So it's a long story short. I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. But basically, I hated my original apartment that I filmed when I first started my YouTube channel. It was extremely small. It was basically a studio, and it had 4 flights of stairs to get to my apartment. It was a 3rd floor, but it was on a hill. So you had to, one, park on a hill, then you had to walk up the hill, depending on where you parked, and then you had to take a set of stairs just to get on the foundation of the house. Then I had to walk inward because it was a 6 tenement house. So my apartment was on the right side, so I had to walk all the way into the property just to take a small porch to get inside. So at this point, I'm inside, and I've already gone up a hill and 2 flights of stairs, and then I had another 2 flights of stairs. I was miserable. I never left the house. I think I gained a lot of weight because of it. That mixture of COVID, I think it was a mixture of everything. I hated that apartment, and being stuck inside 24/7 for 6 months straight made my depression awful. It didn't help with my weight gain. It wasn't just COVID, it was hating where I lived. I truly hated it. And it was a very last minute thing. I was originally living with some roommates. It didn't end up working out. I left the week of Thanksgiving, had to go back to my mom's very temporarily. And this was like one of the only places I could find. It was like a family friend sort of situation. And I went, and my plan was for it to be extremely temporary because I did not like this place at all. The only good worth about it was the people in the building, because my boyfriend was semi-related to them. They were great. I really appreciate that they had that apartment for me. You know, if any of them ever watch this in the future, I don't want them to take it the wrong way. The landlord was nice. The people that lived in the house were nice and friendly and stuff, but I just did not like the space. It was way too small. There was no closets. I didn't have a washer dryer. I hated all the stairs. So I was miserable, and I always thought it was going to be temporary. But I moved in January 2020, and COVID hit, as you guys know. By March. It was already hanging around, but it really hit by March when businesses closed and everything shut down. I worked at a school, so I had 6 months off of work because I literally didn't go back till September. So I was just straight miserable, and then we hit a year there. So now it's January of 2021, and I was like, well, COVID's still here, but things seem to be getting a little bit better. So I was like, let's start looking for apartments. So we ended up being there a whole year, and then the apartment search was nuts. I'm sure it's like this in any state, but especially my area, there's like a train coming in. So because of that, and I live I don't want to give too much information, for my safety, but I do live in Massachusetts, and I do live about an hour from Boston, and this train is going to go straight to Boston. I believe it's also going to go to the Cape. I'm not 100% sure on that. So because of that, a lot of people are moving here because it's cheaper to live here than it is in Boston, and you get the accessibility of the train. So because of that, plus COVID, rents are skyrocketing. And not only are they skyrocketing, they are so hard to find. People are posting apartments, and by the next day, they are absolutely gone. So it was the worst time for me to start looking for apartments. But I was so miserable. I was like, all right, it's Christmas. I pushed myself to decorate and have a tree, even though I hated it there, because I was like, I don't want to just keep putting off my life and saying next year. So I spent months, no luck. looking everywhere. Family connections, friend connections, my old people that I used to work for owned apartments, you know, Zillow and Facebook Marketplace, all those things. I did that all of January, all of February, all of March, all of April, all of May. Finally got a call in May from my current landlord now. And she was like, I will have an apartment that will be available in June. So she's like, if you're willing to wait, be available in June. And the only thing is it's a basement apartment. But she's like, don't think of it as this dark, dingy place. I wouldn't rent it if it was like that. It's actually a really nice apartment. Has a really big kitchen. It has a walk-in closet. So I was like, I was already like, man, I'm sold. Like, I don't even need to look at this place. I just need to get the hell out of where I was. But the rent was double what I was paying. But at this point, I'd rather pay more and be happy. And it also included heat and electricity. So that kind of evens out, you know? And the first apartment was so cheap because, like I said, it was a family friend. And of course, it's really small. Granted, after we left, they got new tenants and they definitely charged them more. But I mean, they can't charge like crazy amount of money either because of its size. And it's 4 flights of stairs. Who wants to climb those? But anyway, we're over that. So I finally go see this apartment in May and I liked it. But, you know, it is a basement. So she had warned me that sometimes there is some flooding when it rains a lot. And it did have windows because that was one thing I was worried about. But not all the windows could open. Some of them are like legit basement style windows, but not all of them. And it wasn't perfect, but it was perfect for me. I was just ready to leave. She also owned tons of other properties. She was friends with my father. So that was one of my family connections that worked out. Thank God. Because to forget an apartment the regular way now is so impossible. I wish any of you guys luck that are looking. So anyway, so I moved into the basement in June. And I was showing you guys things I bought for the apartment and talked about the apartment. And I kept saying I was going to do room tours and decorating videos and all this stuff. And the whole summer, I planned on doing that since I did move in June. And I do have summers off because I work at a school. But I did end up working July half days because we do have a summer program. But the weather was so nice. COVID kept me indoors for a long time. So I wanted to enjoy myself. I did and it wasn't even like I was out and about partying or anything like that. But I have family that have pools. I was going to the pool almost every single day. And I was by myself majority of the time. So I was being safe, but I was enjoying myself. Went to the beach. I brought a good book. I did also end up taking like a little mini vacation in August. So time just got away from me. And I never got to show you guys apartment tours. I did show you guys like what I was buying for the apartments and hauls and stuff like that. But that was it. And then September hit and I went back to work and September was an adjustment. It's always, think about it for you guys. I'm sure it's an adjustment even when you guys have a week off to go back to work. Now imagine having 2 months off and going back to work. Don't get me wrong. I am blessed. I love working at school. I love having all my vacations. But when you do have to go back to work, it is an adjustment. And all of September, I was legit exhausted. And then October, I decorated for Halloween. And I had planned on showing you guys some videos. And I definitely showed you guys what I bought to decorate for Halloween. But my landlord called to me I want to say it was the end. No, it wasn't my landlord yet. I'm sorry. So, long story short, I now live in the same exact house, but not in the basement. So it was an easy move at the very least, thank God. Because I have moved a lot recently, but now I am so happy and I am in place for sure for a long time. But in October, the people who lived in the house, they got really close to me and Joe. I mean, I did live in their basement, so, you know, you don't want to be strangers with who you live with, and they were very friendly people. And they had told me that they were going to start house shopping. They were like, oh, we don't know how long it's going to take with COVID, you know, things are skyrocketing, but we're just really ready to get out of here. We've lived here for 10 years. We loved it here, and the landlords are so nice, but we're just ready for the next phase in our lives. And they were like, I'm letting you know because they knew that me and Joe wanted to start trying to have children, but I wasn't going to do that in a basement apartment. So she had told me that she would talk to the landlord. Obviously, she couldn't promise anything, but she was pretty sure the landlord would have me next in line for the house. So I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I didn't even want to tell you guys. I literally didn't tell anyone but Joe's parents and my parents, because I didn't want to make a big deal out of it and then it not end up working out. And God knows how long. It could have been a year from now that they bought a house, the way things are. Well, I got a call on November 4th. I remember the day because it's Joe's sister's birthday. I got a call on November 4th that they had officially signed on a house. It ended up happening a lot faster than they thought. They just found the perfect house for them in the perfect location. And it was a couple that was going through a divorce and just wanted to sell. So, I mean, I don't know all the details. I don't know what price they got for. I don't know if they had to offer more than asking or whatever. That's their business. But they were ecstatic. My landlord had called me to say she wanted me to know she wasn't sure yet when it would be ready, but that I was next in line for it. I'm about to cry, because she knew me and Joe wanted to start having a family. You know, I'm 30 years old. And the last 2 years have been really, really rough, guys. The whole situation with the roommates, having to move back in at my mom's, move into this place where I was miserable. And the basement made me happy. Don't get me wrong, it really did. I was excited to show it to you guys. And I do have I do have an apartment tour to show you guys of the basement before it was packed. That will probably be like my next video. But I was ready for more than a basement. You know what I mean? So, but I told myself, you know what? It's a move in the right direction. And it's better than what we have. So we just got to do it. So we did it, but we were miserable at the thought of having to move again in another year. But we ended up moving out in 6 months and only up 1 flight of stairs. So we didn't have to pay for movers. We didn't have to move everything in one day. The landlord was actually very nice. So basically we found out that they were going to be moving out. It was like the first week of December. I don't remember the exact day anymore. So she said the second they were out, we could start bringing the stuff up the stairs. And she was only going to charge me like this 1 month's rent for the basement. She wasn't going to charge me rent for both, because that's, you know, I can't afford that. And she's not like that. Thank God. So I was able to move in slowly. I was able to, like, I did everything in like 2 weeks, I would say. You know, and I didn't even need that many boxes. We just literally just kept bringing things up, and we did the big stuff. So we spread it out in 2 weekends. Like one weekend we did like couches in the bed. Another weekend we did like other bigger things I can't think of right now. You know, other pieces of furniture and stuff, and big appliances and things like that. So it was really nice, but it was a crazy time because I planned on making this video way before, but it was Christmas. I was moving. I was exhausted, but I was so, so happy. So I did get to spend technically our first Christmas here. Wasn't exactly what I wanted. There was boxes everywhere, but I had a tree and I still did it. And then I got to even do a little thing for New Year's Eve here with some people, which was really nice. But I can't wait for next year, because now I'll be more settled and I am going to go hardcore with decorating. I even now have a porch to decorate. Super excited about talking about that. I have a few Dollar Tree hauls that are going to come up after this video, where I was like, oh, you know, I'm buying this for my garden. And I was even like, oh, and then I have a big announcement, which you might figure out. And basically it was that I moved into the house. So now that I moved into the house, I am the one that gets to decorate the porch, and I'm the one that gets to, you know, do with the garden and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, whoever moves into the basement after me, so far no one is there. I don't know if they're looking for somebody or not. I think that's more like for people that really need it, they do it. I think the person who lived there before me, they lost their house like in a fire kind of thing. Me, they knew I was miserable where I was. But of course, they can use the yard and things like that. Like, I was able to use the yard when I lived in the basement. That was the first thing she said. Like, you know, all the people that live in this house have rights to the yard, which I agree with. But I'm the one that mainly gets to decorate the porch, and I'm going to buy like a little grill. I am like super excited for this summer. Extremely excited. So I cannot wait to show you guys my new place. I have 3 bedrooms now. But basically what you guys are also going to see in the title, that's my Alexa, is I wanted to kind of combine this, since it is, well, technically now it's February 1st, but I was planning on combining this as a video with like a New Year's resolution thing. And literally my number 1 goal for 2021, because as you know, I was miserable in that apartment, was to find a bigger place to live. And then I put under it even like possibly a home, because I did really want to buy my own house. I'm sure that's a goal for most people. Not everybody. Not everyone lives the, you know, white picket fence dreams. Some people want to travel and rather not have ties to them. Teach their own. But that was my number one goal. And I remember in February of 2021, I met with a real estate agent, and me and Joe literally figured out that it was going to be impossible for us to own our own home. At least right now, with the way the rates are going and stuff like that, we didn't have enough saved. And part of me was like, wow, I should have started sooner. I can't believe I'm 30 years old and I'm in this place where I'm like ready to start my life and I can't because of finances, and it sucks. But it's like a whole 360, guys, a whole circle. Because here it is, February 2022, and I live in a house. Yeah, I don't own the house. No, I don't. I'm not going to pretend I do. But it's my home. And I have the space of a house. I have a driveway like a house and a yard like a house. I have an amazing landlord who tells me all the time to treat it as my own home, because it is my home. She says that to me all the time. She has so many apartments and all over the city, and she says all the time how she literally watches families start. She's like, I literally rent out to young couples most of the time, and they get married and they have kids, and I see their kids grow up, and she's like, I want that for you. Start it here. And she was so excited for me when she found out that people upstairs were moving out, and I was so excited. It was all meant to be. Like, everything falls into place the way it's supposed to happen. So that's the message I want you guys to get in this video. Because trust me, I've cried a lot the last 2 years. I've stressed. I've worried. I was scared I was never going to be able to have children. I was scared I was never going to like where I lived. Because, you know, I just kept getting kicked while I was down. And now I'm finally... I feel like so emotional. But I finally feel like I'm where I'm meant to be. So, for my goals for 2022, I don't even know what to say, because I feel like I'm finally here. Like, I'm here where I'm supposed to be, like I just said. So, my goals prior to 2021 were all like big life accomplishments. I'm a late bloomer. I didn't get my license until I was 26. So that was a goal for like 10 years. Get your license this year. Get your license this year. But my anxiety really stopped me from that. So then I finally got my license. And then my goal after I got my license 3 years ago was, well, get a new job. Because although I loved my job, I did just work as a cashier at a family-run grocery store, who, again, were very kind to me. I am very blessed to have such amazing people around me. But I was just ready for something more. I had my college degree. I had it for 5 years and hadn't used it. Paid a lot of money for that college degree. Still paying a lot of money for that college degree. And, you know, I wanted a job with more benefits and weekends off. And I was just like, you know what? Despite how much I love this job and I love them, I need more. You know, I was just in that phase of my life. I was 26 years old, right? No, older. Because I'm 30 now and I've been with the company for 3 years. So 27. So I was like, let's do it. So that goal for that year was to get a new job. And then after that goal, my goal was to get an apartment. And I did. The first apartment that I lived in with some roommates wasn't an ideal situation, but I was on my own 2 feet. And then we all know that fell apart. And then me and Joe moved into somewhere on our own. And then it was to get somewhere bigger. And now I'm here. So I don't want to say it's a goal for 2022, because I don't know if it's going to happen this year. I don't know if I necessarily want it to happen this year. But the next goal is to start a family. I am 30. I'm not getting any younger. I do have some traveling. I'm actually going to Disney next week. I definitely need to like finish unpacking this place. I only have the main rooms done, like the kitchen, the living room. The entryway is going to take a while. It is a huge, beautiful entryway, and I really want to do justice to it and buy like higher quality things for it. I'm even thinking about like having just a wall full of bookshelves with like a nice big cozy like chair to make like a reading nook. I want like a really nice shoe rack over there. But that's the only room I really have to buy items for, because everything else I already kind of, you know, I already owned a couch. I already owned a bed. You know, I already lived on my own. So I had like a TV stand and ottomans and dining room table, but I never had an entryway. So that will be the last room I show you guys, because that is going to be way after I come back from Disney, because I have to save some money for that. But so now you guys know why I wasn't posting room tours, because then once I got that call, I said, what's the point? I'm about to move. So my next video will be the room tours of downstairs, just so you guys can see where I was living, just because I kept talking about it. But it's literally just one video of all the rooms together. I think for this one, I'm going to do individual videos. So I'll do like one for the kitchen. The living room's not that big. I don't think it might take a whole video. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, or I might lump 2 rooms in one video, you know. But that was it. So that is the reason why I took so long to post the room tours, because I moved again. So very blessed, very lucky, extremely lucky. It all worked out for a reason. I don't want to just keep rambling saying the same thing over and over again, but I am very happy where I am, and I'm happy to report that I moved again, and I could definitely see myself being here at least 5 years, if not more, maybe 10, who knows. I would like to leave here owning my own home, and now being here, me and Joe have plenty of time to save, and just enjoy our lives, and that's all we can do, because life is short, guys. So just enjoy each day, love where you live, love where you work, because life is short. And I can honestly say 80% of the time I love my job. So I think that's pretty good, because most people can't say that. And I do love where I live. So that was it. So that's what 2022 is for me. Best year of my life so far. And I'm only 31 days in, because today is February 1st. But that is all. Be safe, guys.